So I was browsing the web the other day, guys, and I stumbled across this pretty cool dynamic header. So if you watch what happens, we're currently above a section with a black background. We've got a black header. If we go to a white background section, header matches it and turns white. But it's not just black and white, it's any colour. So here, this is dark grey. Header matches it and goes dark grey. Now we've got lime green header. So I thought this would be a pretty cool effect to try and recreate in Elementor. So this is what I've created here. We've got a black background, black header, white background, red background. So you can see how the header matches each time it scrolls over a new section. So I'll show you how you can recreate that in Elementor today. So what I'll do now is I'll start with the header. So the header itself, I've got this set as transparent. And what that means is it's universal across different hero sections, because you'll never get a sort of colour flick. If you set this as a hard colour now, and then the hero section underneath doesn't match it initially, the header will flick to that colour. Whereas if you start with a transparent colour, it'll just turn into that colour and you won't notice it. So to do that, what I've done is I've given it a minimum height of 90, and I've matched this with a negative margin so that the hero underneath is pulled upwards. And then on top of that, I've obviously give it a colour of transparent. The last thing to do in this main container is I've set a Z index of 999 just to make sure the header always sits on top of everything else. And I've given it a class of colour change. And this is so we can just target the header with our code. Now inside the header, I've got two images here, and that's each logo I'm going to use. So basically, I need a light logo and a dark logo. And that's because certain logos are used on certain backgrounds. So here you can see I've used my lighter logo, whereas when I get to the lighter background, you won't be able to see the word digital. So I've changed this to a darker logo. It's the same sort of thing with the navigation here. It's currently white, but when you scroll over it here, it goes black. So to do that, if I go back into my header, we'll need two logos. The logo itself, you'll have to give the first one, or your normal one, a class of logo normal. And then the other one, which is going to be your inverted one, give it a class of logo inverted. And I've avoided the words dark and light here because yours might be the opposite to mine. So I've just stuck with inverted. So that's everything we need to do in terms of building the header with the elements, because the rest of it's done with a bit of code. So I'll include this code snippet in the description, but you'll just want to copy this CSS across. And what you'll want to do is paste this inside the main header container inside custom CSS. And what you'll notice now is what the second inverted logo image has disappeared. And that's because if we look at our code here, you'll notice that by default, the display is none for the inverted logo, and the inverted logo only becomes visible when an inverted class is applied to the header. So I'll show you later on in the video how we're going to decide when to apply that inverted class. And when this class is applied, the other logo goes to display none. So this logo will disappear. So they'll essentially swap out. On top of this, we've got nav link changes here. So I'm saying when our inverted class is applied, turn these black. So obviously going back to this page here, you'll see they turn black when they're on a white background. And then the last things in the code, I've got an option to change your button colors. I've currently commented this out because I won't be using that today, but I've left this in case you wanted to change your button on header sort of inversion. And then the last one is hamburger and sub icon changes. So this is just when you're on a mobile menu. If I flick this to mobile, this is what happens to your hamburger icon here. So currently it's white. So I've got it set to flick to black on inversion. And as well as this, the SVG is just this little down arrow here. So currently it's black, and we make sure that inverts as well, white to black. So that's everything to do with this code here and this header. That's all you need to do. It's now complete. So I'll just publish that now. And now going back to the code pen, you're going to want to copy this JavaScript. And this is what essentially is getting the whole header functioning correctly. So once you've copied that, paste it in to wherever you put your code snippets. So I'm using Fluent Snippets today. So I've just pasted this in as a block of JavaScript. I've given it a name of header background matcher. And you could also add conditional logic to choose what page to apply this. Or if you leave it blank, it'll run on every single page. I have added a failsafe where if the header isn't found with the class color change, the function will just be returned, so it won't result in an error. But once you've copied this in, you can just update or activate the snippet, and now it should be applied. So now we've built our header and applied the code, we can go into a page, preview this page, and see if it's working. But what you'll notice is the header's still not going fully colored. There's no color being applied to the background, and there's no inversion occurring as well. And that's because I've set this header up to look for the section tag underneath it. And currently, by default, all your sections that we build on Elementor are just divs. Now, I've avoided looking for divs because there's divs galore on websites, and it'll be finding divs everywhere. So if we just target sections, we can specify exactly when we want the header to change. So if I go back to this edit page here, this is just a page I've been working on for this tutorial. And each section here, so this is just a container, we'll go into layout, and within additional options, we'll change the tag from default, which is div for containers, we'll change that to section. And now, because of the way I've set the code up, the header will know that it's above a section, so it'll know to change the color to the color of the section it's above. So case one, this one, I've changed to section. The following one, I'll do the same. And then the rest of them I've already set up just to save time. So you'll see here, additional options. The rest of them are all already sections. Now, if I publish this and we're on the page now, you'll see here, it's now solid. So it's not interfering with the text. You can see the navigation header clearly. Scroll down, it now turns white, but we haven't specified that the text should change color and the logo should change. But we'll just check our following sections. This one goes red, this one goes black, and so on. So now I'll just show you how to specify that, yes, we want the header to change to the background color of the section, but on this particular section, we can't see the navigation of a logo. So we want to apply our inverted class that we specified back in here in the actual header template. So to do that, just go into your page, and any section where you'd want your header to invert, just click on the section you want to apply this change to, go into advanced and type the class header invert. And once we've done that and published that, the header will now not just fill itself with the background color of the section below, but it will also invert when we've selected it. So if you scroll through your page, you'll just be able to see what sort of colors would work well when. So basically when to apply your inversion, because here I haven't applied it. This is black, so I don't need to apply it. I haven't applied it here. They're still white with the light logo. Whereas when I get to here, I could do with applying it now because it gets quite hard to read. So if I go back into the page and then down to this bottom section here, I'll go into here and then back into advanced, and I can apply the header invert class here. And now my header knows that when it hits this section to apply the invert class, which will then give the navigation its inverted color of black, and my header will change to the inverted logo as well. My logo, sorry. So now that's set up, I can talk you through each different case of what the sections can be. So case one, no background colors set, so the header defaults to the site background. So it might look like I've set up a dark background here, but as it says here, I haven't actually set a background for this container. This is just my site background that you set up in your global settings. And I'll show you that now. So this container, case one, the background isn't set up. I haven't clicked on any of these. So it's pulling the color from site settings, and within your site settings, you can set your background here. So I've chose this near black color for my global settings for my website background, which means if I don't set anything up in the containers, it'll just default to this. And that's how the header also behaves. It'll just default to this if nothing is set in your section. So it is important though, if you are going down this route and you just want your header to match your default background color, that when you're in your container, don't click on any of the options, because if you do this and then leave them blank, it'll go transparent. So I'll show you now. if you click classic here and it's still dark because you haven't set a color, and then publish this, what the code will do is look for the background, and because a background type's been activated but no color's been activated, the header will go transparent. So it's important, just make sure you don't accidentally click classic or anything, just leave it completely blank, and then it will default to your site background like this. So case 2, background color set and header matches and inverts. So this is 2A, 2B, background color set, header matches and doesn't invert, and then it's the same sort of thing. This should be 2C, but background color set, header matches and doesn't invert. So basically these three are all very similar. So I'll go into the back end here. Case 2 basically means once you set a background color, so here I've set white, it'll just match it. And as I said earlier, if you do set a color, that means your header should be inverted, just so you can see the elements better. Go into advanced and set this to header invert. Now these two below, I haven't bothered inverting the header, so it literally is just a case of setting your color. So this one's red, which means the header will go red, and then this one's black, which means the header will go black as well. So now they're all functioning correctly. I'll show you what you can do if you actually have an image as your background. So you'll see here my background of my header goes sort of a transparent or translucent sort of black color. So for images, how I've set this up, or how it works, is it's basically the same as all the other containers, because when you set a background image, you can actually still choose a color as well. So if I chose something just a bit garish, if I chose red now and published this, we've still got our background image. The red doesn't impact the actual background image because the background image takes precedent over the background color. And now if we preview this, our header will actually just go red. So it's a good way that you can still choose the header color when you've got a background image. So what I did originally is I just set this to black. So this is an option. I've set it to black, and then I've reduced the opacity slightly, so it's sort of slightly transparent. So if I publish this now, again, this hasn't impacted the background image at all. It's literally just going to impact your header. So if I preview this now, we get this cool header effect where it's like a slightly transparent header there, just like the text box here. So that's how you can choose basically with this header. If you do have a background image randomly a bit further down the page on a section, exactly what you want your header to do in this situation. So that's what happens for background images. So this is also how the header works with background videos as well. So I've put here background image or video, because if we go into our edit page, currently we've got an image set, but if we flick it to video, we get left with the exact same option here to set a background color. So this essentially becomes a header background color selector rather than a section color selector. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. If this is a video, you can still choose your header color here. So for now, I'll just flick it back to a background image. Now, the final case is gradient background colors set. So I've covered everything here. So this is just in case you have like some sort of slight gradient effect and you still want to use this header background effect. This is how it works. So if I publish this, currently, you'll see if I scroll down to that section, it turns into this light sort of pink color. And that's the color of the first gradient stop on this section. So if I go back into the edit page, go into this section here, and you'll see the background is a gradient and the first color stop is this light pink, and then it goes to this sort of purple color. Now this is where I've added some customization in the code. So you guys can customize whether you want it to, if you use this effect, whether you want your header to turn into the first color stop of a gradient, or whether you want your header to turn into the second color stop. So I'll show you that in the code now. So back to the JavaScript. This is where you set it. So I put it right at the top so it's easy to find and obvious to change. And I've put some notes here saying gradient color stops set to number 1 or 2. Leave null if not required. So you might not have background gradients or want to use this effect with a background gradient. So you can just leave it as null, but that will just default to 1. And then if only 1 is set, both will use that value. So if I just set this to 2, and by both, I mean linear and radial gradients. But if I just set this to 2 now, you'll see how it works. I'll update the snippet, refresh this page, and you'll see it's gone to this darker purpley sort of colour down here, because that's the second gradient stop. And then going back to the code. So just to show you that we can set these independently for linear gradients and radial gradient backgrounds, I'll change the radial gradient to 1 and then update the snippet. We'll go back to the edit page here, and currently our header background is dark purple because this is a linear gradient and it's set to gradient stop 2. But now for radial gradients, we've said we want the gradient stop to be 1 for the header background. So if I publish this now, we should have our light colored header background back. Scroll down. And yeah, you'll see it's now the light colored background again with the radial gradient. So I'll let you have a play around with that in the code, but it's basically here where you set up how you want the header to behave for gradient backgrounds. And if you look at these notes here, that just basically explains what will happen. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. It's been quite a fun one to build, and it's basically a super dynamic header, and I think it'll look pretty cool on any website. So shout out to this website, AI Audio, for giving me inspiration for this. And whether it's your website or a client's website, I think it's a pretty cool effect. And feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe if you have enjoyed this one. And I hope to see you in the next one.